Hello, friends, and welcome back. My name is Jeff Mauk, and this is my Straight Dogma 2100 um, channel, and I appreciate you tuning in. I'm focusing on this object here, which I bought in the year 2000. I'm going to try not to be too repetitive, so if you want to catch up, you can check out some of my previous videos on this object where I talked a lot about it. This is an extraordinary object. I've never seen anything like it. Well, except for maybe the wooden box that is at the museum, currently known as the Institute for the Study of Ancient Cultures at the University of Chicago. This object here, I keep trying to get a really good focus on it with this camera, but I will tell you, it is covered with the circumpunct symbol, which meant God in ancient Egypt. It meant God and the Creator and the universe, infinity, the Alpha Omega. It was the symbol for gold. And I'm trying to explain all the reasons why I think all the dots connect that this object is the Holy Grail. Now, there are many scholars who have been doing a lot of research on the Holy Grail, what it is, if it is, what we think it might be, but there has never been a consensus as to what it is exactly and where it is. And I'm introducing this object as a candidate for consideration. And not only that, that it indeed was made by a carpenter named Jesus in a town called El Fayoum, Egypt, during his childhood and early adulthood. He was a carpenter. His father was a carpenter. So there's the whole Egypt connection, which is very interesting. In the course of my research, I read this great book here fairly recently. It's called A Shift in Time. And this book is really extraordinary. And I highly recommend it if you want to try to figure out what really happened and when it really happened. In this book, A Shift in Time, Lena Einhorn demonstrates that the historical author Josephus, who is is one of the primary sources outside of the Bible for the historicity of Jesus, Josephus was a Jewish general fighting against the Romans when he was captured. Everybody else in his platoon, except for about 20 people, not platoon, but they were all killed. And there's these 20 people left, and they drew lots to see. They decided that rather than surrender to the Romans, they would kill themselves. So they drew lots, and one guy would kill the guy in front of him, and then that guy would kill him, and there were two guys left standing, Josephus and another individual. And so they were allowed to survive, and the Romans hired Josephus to be their historian, and he began writing. He wrote a book called The Antiquities and another book called The History of the Jews, or the Jewish War. And in that book, he describes a very brief passage in one of those books. I think it's Antiquities. I didn't read them both. I read parts of one, but they're available if anyone else wants to do any kind of research. It's a pretty interesting topic. But Ms. Einhorn postulates that Josephus's timeline is a little bit off from the biblical timeline. And one of the ways that we dated things in the ancient world was by who was the ruler in a given period of time. So there can be some confusion when you have a name like, let's say, Herod, because there were two different Herods. And so they distinguished the one Herod from the other. The one was called Herod Antipas, and the other one was called Herod the Great. And so there can be a lot of uncertainty when you're trying to nail down exactly what happened when. And it can be significant if you're trying to do history and you want to figure out what really happened, when it happened, and how we know what happened. So Lena has articulated and identified a time gap of about 20 years between some of the events that Josephus chronicles versus events that are described in the New Testament. And it's interesting because she points out that many of these events would fit like a glove just perfectly if the time was changed. So the question is, was it changed? Did Josephus shift his timing, and you can speculate about what his motives may have been, but it's pretty clear that there are some uncertainties. And one of the things that I found was very interesting is she describes, well, I don't know how much you care about any of this stuff. We have time to get into more of it in more detail in future videos. I want to try to keep these videos short because I know everybody's busy, and this is maybe not your cup of tea, and maybe you don't care. Maybe you don't know why you should care or what difference it makes. It makes a lot of difference to me because it happened to me. I have this object, and this object demands an answer as to what it is. And if I'm correct in my theory and speculation, and I believe I am, then it has tremendous historical significance and theological significance and things that may affect us today. We have wars going on in this world right now, and people are fighting wars and have fought wars throughout history based on things that they believed. Some of them they couldn't prove, but they believed them anyway. And what matters more than whether something actually happened or whether something is true, what matters more than whether something is true is actually what people believe is true. But I think I mean, if people are going to act on what they believe, great. But what if you believe what you believe is false and you're acting upon it, and people are dying as a result of your false belief, and you didn't take the time to study and know what the hell you were talking about before you said, okay, let's get an army and go over to the hill and kill all those other people because we heard voices and we, you know, what if you were wrong? And you think somehow God told you to go over there and kill people. That's not the kind of God that I want to worship. That's not the kind of God that I've ever believed in. I believe in the God that gave us all life. And when we all die, you are going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to live. I'm going to die in peace because I know that I've done what I could to help people while I was here. That's my goal. And I'm inviting you to criticize me and criticize my theory, introduce your own theories, and participate. Give me a like and a share if you want. I appreciate that. And I would also appreciate your comments, especially. And if you have information that you want to share, suggestions or contacts, I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to this program together, to interact with you as we move along. I'm going to try to do one of these every day. Don't hold me to it. I might miss a day or two. I'm also going to try to do another page that'll have other interests of mine that maybe it works for you or doesn't. One is going to be a music page. I don't want to mix and match too much here. I just want to kind of focus and target. I mean, you know, that's kind of a pun because this is the Target logo. And I know some of you folks shop at that wonderful establishment, Target. That's how most people know that symbol, the circumpunct, is from Target, because we live in modern times. But in ancient times, they saw that as the symbol for God. So the question is, why is that symbol on this object? So that's going to be it for this video today. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And remember, if the dogma is wrong, maybe the stray dogma is right.